Alright, what is going on everybody? Captain here back with another Marvel Contest of Champions video. In this video, I'm going to be doing my best to explain to you guys how Voids Intimidating Presence works, and I decided to tackle Road to the Labyrinth with this. I found some pretty good fights in here that I think will be able to showcase this very well. I'm not going to be showing off the Petrify regeneration side of it, but you will see the power gain. But the regen side, as I mentioned in my review video, a couple other YouTubers, Hector and Seaton Man of Legends, of course, they both already showed those, so go check out their channels for those. But in this video, I'm going to show off the power gain side of that, as well as a little bit of the agility, and then kind of how the debuff damage to direct damage works. I kind of found something else about that I wanted to point out. So now let's go ahead and play the clips. Alright, to start off, this is in Act 4, Chapter 3 of Road to the Labyrinth with Nightcrawler as the boss's second one. This path is the Spite node, which allows, if you have an active buff on you, the enemy will gain Power Flood, which I figured would be a good way to showcase this, as well as this Drax has the Strike Back, which when I use a special, he will activate, he will gain a bar of power, sorry. Alright, so right off the bat, you'll see this timer is counting down to when the first debuff will be added, and then you know it'll be game on after that. So when that expires, it'll add the first debuff, which will be Petrify in this case, which looks just like this. So this decreases the effectiveness of power gain and regen by 50% with a max stack of 2, and which can be increased once Fear the Void is activated. You can see also it's ticking away at 60 per second for the direct damage. So now I've got the second debuff on him, which is the agility one, which reduces the the ability accuracy for evade and dexterity by 30%. Again, the direct damage is ticking at 120 now, since it's a separate debuff itself. And now the third one, which is the fatigue, which decreases his critical rating, is now on there, and he is ticking away at 180 per second. In a second here, now that they're both at max, they will be converted into what is called Fear of the Void, which now, there you go, that's what it looks like, the little skull face. My attack rating has been increased for 40 seconds, and now I can start stacking those individual stacks again. So now I've got the first one for the dexterity on there, or the agility one, and now I've got another one for Petrify, and you can see the direct damage is just increasing each time now. With each one plus Fear the Void, those count as well, so that's just higher. Now I've got all 4 of them, and they're all 4. And then I did notice there, if you saw for a second, I had stun also, which and you can see it's ticking for 501, which, going back and looking at the actual definition, it says for each unique debuff type, the opponent deals direct damage. So that counts towards stun as well, even though that's not one of the intimidating presences. I kind of figured that out, that I'm not sure if that was intended or that's kind of how it works out. So you can technically have 5 different things that are doing the direct damage. But you can see, guys, once I've done all of that, his health, he's pretty much down. It wasn't the cleanest fight for me health wise, but in the right hands, Void can do a lot of damage. So right there, Drax goes down, and it was a pretty simple fight and way to do that. So there's the first fight. Up next, we've got a Cyclops that has increased power gain as well as Spite. I skipped some of the other fights that I did with the other champions because they weren't really great matchups for the Void, because one of them had like an all or nothing Doctor Strange. Not good for him. But this one also has the increased power gain, which I thought also would be a good one to showcase. It might work well for Void. So right off the bat, I just gotta kind of get that same process going. So I gotta wait for that initial timer to decrease, to go down, and now here we go. The first one is on him. Start the direct damage going. Got the power flood, so he is gaining the power right now, because I haven't gotten, there we go, I got the first Petrify one, so now his power gain will be decreased by 50%. So if I get a dexterity active on me, then so right here you see, I don't really showcase it very much. Later on this fight you'll notice it, because I kind of get rid of the buff soon, but now I don't know why I just took that to the face. Kind of missed that one. These are pre-recorded, by the way, I'm not doing this live. So now we've got all 6 of them. We're about to enter Fear the Void. And now, so there that is. So his power flood is at 0%. So whenever he gets a power flood, it'll be at 0. And then you'll notice now, once I get the Petrify buff on him, or debuff, it'll be technically 150%. So he would actually he'll start losing power, which you'll see right there. You can see it going down just slightly. I believe it happens again. So now, waiting for it right here. Nope, I took it away again. I think it happens one time where it just stays for quite a while, and you can see the power flood. He's just not gaining power. All right, I think right here. Here we go. So I have a dexterity active. He has a power flood active. He's gaining absolutely 0 power. Just look at that, how crazy that is. So now I finally hit him, lose the debuff. Doesn't have the power flood, of course. But yeah, it just, that right there, just being able to counter spite, I think is a very unique ability, and not many characters in the game can do that. If any, not really that I can think of, that just completely shut down spite node, which is pretty awesome to see. So this fight again against Cyclops went pretty well. Here you can see again, I've got the dexterity. He's not gaining any of that power because he has the Fear of the Void and the 2 buffs on there. So technically he was getting negative power right there, and then he goes down right there, no problem. Second showcase fight right there was a pretty awesome one. So, and up next, actually the very next fight was Spider-Man Symbiote, which means he's a stun immune and then has the spite. And this one you get to kind of showcase off the agility debuff side of things and how powerful this one can be, which this one actually caught me off guard. I was kind of not expecting this. So just to refresh you, the agility reduces the ability accuracy of evade and dexterity mastery by 30%. So the way Spider-Man Symbiote works, when he uses a special, he activates an evade. With this one, I didn't realize this is how it works, but that actually, when it has the agility debuff on him, it has a chance to prevent it from even activating, not just from preventing him to evade. So you'll notice a couple times here, so I don't have any of the agility ones on him just yet, but once I do, I think I get it at the next one that comes on. Of course, I have to watch out for the power flood still in this, but once I get, here we go. So now I've got the evade. He uses a special one. He didn't even activate the evade right there. So now, like, that's supposed to be his ability with his awakened ability, is it activates the evade. You'll see it doesn't happen every time. Like right there, I got super lucky. I only had one of the agility debuffs on him, so I had a 30% chance for that to happen. You can see there, I had 2 of them on him, and it actually did activate it. Now Fear of the Void is active, so technically he has a 60% chance to not have that evade activate, and now I've got that, so there's 90% chance, and you can see it did activate there. So that one time he actually only had a 10% chance to activate it there. Now I've got 4 chances of it, so technically 120% chance, and you'll see here in a second he goes to use a special and it won't activate. So there we go, I mistimed it, of course, but then he doesn't get the evade, which makes my life a lot easier. Plus he's not getting that power flood meters, so he's can't really do anything right now. Like, he's at my mercy. I can just do whatever I want to him. So this fight is going really well. I was really surprised to see that that's how it actually worked. I wasn't expecting it to be that way, but I was very pleasantly surprised. So this gives Void a whole nother aspect of area. I haven't tested him against a classic Spider-Man yet, but I think that will be some interesting things to test out. Again, there, use the special, didn't get the evade buff, so down goes Spider-Man right there. Up next, we have the final boss, which is the Nightcrawler. I don't end up killing him in this fight, but I did want to showcase a little bit being able to prevent him from evading. He doesn't evade as much as he normally would in this fight. At least it felt like that to me. I could just be crazy, but that's kind of how it felt to me once I got the agility debuffs active on him. It took a little while, and I took some chip damage here and there leading up to it, but once I got it, I did notice a pretty good chance that he wasn't evading when I felt like he should have been. So in a second here, there we go, we got the first agility debuff. So now we're gonna get some combos in there that he doesn't evade. Of course, right there, that one he did. Coming up though, there's a couple that went pretty well. Let's see here, where are they at? Here we go. So we've got 2 of them on him now, and this is the run here. We get full combo right there. He doesn't evade, get another full combo back to back, and then use a special, so we're able to get 12 hits in or so right there, however many that was. And then he still hasn't used it, so now we just gotta wait for him to use his specials so that we can continue the fight. But from here on, I kind of mess up here and there, so he ends up killing me. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of showcase that quick little part right there, get another almost full combo there, and then he evades. So yeah, it wasn't a smooth fight, but I think he is definitely not the best counter for a Nightcrawler, but he is doable, again, in the right hands with the right person, who which obviously I'm not the most skilled at the game, but you never know. Some people out there might be a lot better with him against the Nightcrawler, so that's something to keep in mind when playing with the Void. So there you go, there's that one. The last fight here I want to show was in a separate one. This was in Chapter 4 at Quest 5, I think it was. So this is the Safeguard path. So Safeguard prevents an enemy from taking more than 1% damage from any direct source. So basically all my attacks, my basic attacks, my special attacks, heavies, they're all going to do only 1%. But any debuffs, they deal the regular amount of damage. So I wanted to test out how his debuff stacking and doing the direct damage, how much that would affect this fight. Off the bat here, I had to bait out her special 2. She started out with special 2, and she's special 2 unblockable, so I had to bait that out. So here we go, now we're going in with the fight. Not really showcasing anything in particular, with none of these debuffs really hurt her very much, but altogether it's that direct damage which helps against the Safeguard node, which is a really obnoxious node in Road to the Labyrinth. But Void seems to be a very good option for helping you get through this, as well as kind of the Spite node, as I showed in the previous video. So here we've got all 3 stacks doing 245 damage per second, which is a pretty good amount. Obviously, I think probably there's other options that will do, like champions that'll do bleed or something that might be better, but this definitely was a pretty eye-opening experience with this. I actually got hit by the special 2 here, but yeah, I think Void can definitely help some people through Road to the Labyrinth, as well as just Safeguard in general, Strike Back, Spite, and Power Flood, just anything involving power and all this. Void, I think, is a very fun option. He's very easy to use. He kind of gives off a Spider-Man Stark enhanced feel, like his basic attacks, the way that he flows and he's kind of like low to the ground. I'm not by any means saying he's as powerful as him, but just that's kind of like playing with him, the way he kind of moves around on the screen. He kind of reminds me of Spider-Man Stark Enhanced. Let me know if you guys agree with me on that, if you think I'm crazy, but that's kind of just what the feeling I got. But here we go. I'm gonna finish off this fight here in a second here against this guillotine. But yeah, it went really well. I hope this helped explain how his intimidating presence works, guys. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. If you have any other ideas for a video, please let me know. I'm trying to get as much as I can out for this character. But that's gonna do it for this one, guys. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time.